Hey everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Backfield Boys by John Feinstein.
Steen, I think we decided.
So somebody told me how to say this, and I'm so terrible at pronouncing things. I'm so sorry.
And I met him.
Because the thing is, the kids at my library are obsessed with him. Like, they will literally come in and take all of the books. So I'm like, I have to read one of his books, and I was able to get a copy of this early, and I was like, I'm reading it. And after reading it, I get why the kids are obsessed. Okay, so let me get into what the book's about. So, it is about Jason, who is a stellar wide receiver, and he is white and Jewish. His best friend Tom is a stellar quarterback, who is also black. The only thing that really mattered between these two was how well they could play together, until they got accepted to a prestigious sports boarding school, where they are forced to play opposite positions. The two know that race plays a major role in how they are treated. Together with new friends and people in the media, Jason and Tom work to fix what is broken at Thomas Gatch Prep, or TGP.
So I liked this book because I thought that there was a lot of really relevant aspects to it. I thought they do talk about the CTE, the concussion disorder, and the parents are concerned with that. And I just read an article that said something insane, like over 90% of football players, when they check their brains after they die, have this disorder.
Right, but I think there was, yes, and I heard a news story on that, but they were also talking about how they only really kind of looked at the brains of the ones that they thought were considered to have the disease. They didn't check every person who died who played football. But it was, I mean, that's still an astounding statistic. I mean, it still definitely makes you think twice about all of it.
And I liked the racism angle because I feel like you're not seeing that as much. And it was such an insidious, little things that you could, laugh off. Be like, oh, well, that's just the way they are. But when it all added together, you could really see it. And I liked the fact that it showed these boys fighting against that.
Well, and I think it was also it showed a realistic frustration in that because it was so insidious, it was really kind of hard to combat until kind of little pops of actual you cannot deny that this is racism.
Right.
Really kind of opened things up. So I think it definitely kind of addressed many different behaviors that you see within our society, things that you can laugh off, things that, not that you can laugh off because you shouldn't laugh it off, but things that are harder to kind of pinpoint and pin down, and things that are just obvious.
Well, one of the first things they do is they tell Jason that he's going to not be the running back. He's going to be a quarterback, and that Tom, who was the quarterback, is going to be the running back. And you're like, well, I guess, they would know better, so maybe that isn't. But when it all kind of started to add up with all the other things, they separated their dorms and all this stuff, you're like, oh, yeah, it really is. And like I said, I really liked how they showed that these two boys could fight something like that institutionally.
And I also think it also brought in issues related to religion, because Jason is Jewish. Right. He's also dealing with these communities within the prep school who assume that you're going to church every single Sunday, and Jason wouldn't go to church. He would go to a synagogue if he were going to go worship on that day, and that's really kind of up to him what he chooses to do with his time.
Right, and you don't see that a lot in the books. It's a great boy book. The football stuff I didn't get.
It is a great boy/athletic book. I mean, it certainly packages these very compelling, very important issues into a package that I think boys and athletes can relate to. It was harder for me because a lot of the football stuff just went straight over my head.
Totally
I
didn't get the
no idea
stuff.
What was going on.
Totally didn't. I was I actually skimmed that part. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how that works.
And it was, it was ever present.
Yes, which it is. It's a football book,
right? But the cool thing I think about this book was it's a kind of a mystery.
Right. Well, the cover,
element.
The cover says it's a football mystery in black and white.
So that's super, that's not something you come across. You've got football and mystery. Seriously, I now know why all the guys are reading these at my library.
It's true.
Because it's got everything they could ever want.
I think I read a tennis mystery by him many, many years ago.
I hadn't read anything by him before.
Should we rate it?
I think yes. So our rating system starts with 5 unicorns, goes down to 2 unicorns, and if it was sucktacular, it is a horse.
I think I'm gonna go with 4 unicorns, just because there were a couple of things that didn't work for me, but I think based on the audience that it's intended to, it's just a great book for them.
And I am going to say the same exact thing. 4 unicorns for the same exact reasons.
And that is where we are on Backfield Boys.
All right, so we'll see you around.
Bye.